guys, welcome back to the Road to Success MCAT test prep series. This is my 7th video about psychology, where I'll be covering the importance of social interactions in the psychology subsection of the exam. You might have noticed now, if you've been keeping up with the series, that we have shifted from psychology and more into sociology. So moving forward, that will be the main focus of this course. I'll be starting this off by talking about the 3 A's of social interactions: attraction, attachment, and aggression. Moving forward, I will then be talking about status and roles in society, as well as how we form and maintain groups with impression management. Lastly, I'll be ending this video by talking about bureaucracy. There's a lot to talk about with bureaucracy, so that I would consider that to be the most important part of this video. That being said, let's move on and start focusing on the 3 A's of social interactions.
Alright, let's start off with the laws of attraction. The mere exposure effect states that repeated exposure to people will cause one to view them as more attractive over time. Facial attraction is more important than body attraction, and we like average looking folks more than people with unique physical traits. Similarity is important for attraction as well. If there is a perceived similarity, then people will be attracted to each other. Unfortunately, that can lead to a similarity bias where we only seek those that are similar to us. A projection bias is when we assume that others have the same preferences as us. Now let's talk about attachment, starting with the Harlow monkey experiments. Monkeys were separated from their mothers and were given substitute mothers: a wire mother, which was essentially a metal cylinder, and a cloth mother, which was a blanket. The baby monkeys overwhelmingly preferred the cloth mother and imprinted on it. They had a secure base to it, but eventually they were able to leave when they realized that it won't leave if they do. This leads to the discussion about attachment types. Secure children will be upset if their parent leaves, but will be happy upon their return. Insecure children will be upset when their parent leaves, and they maintain that distress when they come back. Lastly, avoidant children ignore the parent when they return. Parenting falls into 3 main styles. Permissive parents are very laid back and let their they let their child do whatever they want, leading to very spoiled children. Authoritarian parents are very strict and they raise their child with an iron fist. This leads them to be very unsuccessful as adults. Lastly, authoritative parents are the middle ground and they're the best parents by far. So I'll mark this down as the best. And I'll throw in here that these are the worst. But yeah, so that being said, authoritative parents, they're the middle ground and they raise very successful children because of it, because they find the proper balance between coddling their children and being strict with them. Now let's talk about aggression. The causes for it could be biological, like genetics, testosterone. These play a role in our genetic or our aggressive disposition. The amygdala specifically controls aggression, and coupled with a decreased frontal lobe function, it could lead to more aggressive actions. Psychologically, it could be a behavioral thing. Reinforcement of aggression could occur as a child when they throw tantrums and aren't properly punished. This could lead to more aggressive individuals as an adult. They also could learn it from their parents themselves. By watching them fight as children, they'll see that this is like a normal practice and they'll fight more as adults. We already talked about the frustration aggression principle in a previous video. Social scripts and de-individuation in crowds can cause increases in aggression. Overall, though, it is a combination of all 3 of these that make people aggressive. Moving on to status and roles. Status is your social position in society. An ascribed status is a status that you can't change. You're born with this. This would be inherited titles like prince or queen. Achieved statuses are statuses that you earn, like job titles. Roles are the tasks that come along with a status. Role strain is when you can't fulfill those tasks. This is tension within one status. Role conflict, on the other hand, is conflict between two different statuses. Please take note of that, as the MCAT will trip you up on this topic. So I'll highlight here again, one status with rule strain, two different statuses with rule conflict. Groups and impression management are important for maintaining social interactions. Primary groups are your closest friends and family. Secondary groups are usually temporary or formal groups. Your front stage self is how you behave in public, while your backstage self is how you act in private. Your front stage self is much more reserved and polite, as you want to create and maintain social relationships. That being said, impression management is a very important skill that we need to learn, as it helps us control how at least others see us in the front. Oh, and we manage all of this, all of the impression management in the backstage self. There are several different types of organizations. Utilitarian organizations reward their members for their efforts. These are usually jobs. Normative organizations have members that share a goal. These are usually religious groups. Lastly, coercive organizations. Coercive organizations force their members to join. These are things like the military or jail that have a required amount of time that must be served. Bureaucratization is the process by which organizations govern. The iron law of oligarchy states that even the most democratic organizations will become bureaucratic over time. McDonaldization is a term that describes the push for efficiency, calculability, predictability, and control of an organization, like a fast food place. Finally, here are the characteristics of an ideal bureaucracy. Feel free to pause and take notes on these, as this list is pretty comprehensive. That being said, that's all I have for you guys today. This was a pretty short video, as it covered only a few topics, but I think all of these are pretty important to know, especially the different types of attachments. We're moving away from psychology and more into sociology at this point, so the videos will be getting shorter, but all of these are still very high yield for the MCAT, so please pay attention and focus on these various different subjects. That being said, that's all I have for you guys today. Have a great rest of your day, and happy studying.